ठीक है. Okay, we are live. If there is anybody in the chat section, guys, please let me know if I'm audible. Just let me know quickly in chat section if I'm properly audible and visible. Okay, so guys, we have discussed some of the questions in last two sessions of probability and statistics. This is the third session in which we are going to discuss more questions for GATE DA point of view, so that you would know how to attempt these kind of questions and what kind of questions we can expect in GATE exam. Okay, so let's start the session. So we'll start solving questions one by one. So let's first start this question. Just a minute. Yes. Now let's solve this question. This is my first question. These two questions I have shared yesterday with you. What is the correlation between x and a minus x? And this question I have shared that if standard deviation of x and standard deviation variance of x and variance of y is equal and x are related by this, then what is the covariance of u comma b? Let me know, guys. Does anybody got the answer? What is the covariance of u comma b? So what would you do in this question? You would solve covariance of u comma v, right? And it would become covariance of x plus y comma x minus y. And because of covariance property, you can write down covariance of x comma x plus covariance of x comma minus y plus covariance of y comma x and covariance of y comma minus y. Guys, if you remember, covariance of x comma x is variance of x. So can I write down this as variance of x? Variance of x. And here I'll write down, I can take minus common, right? It would become minus covariance of x comma y. And plus covariance of y comma x is same as covariance of x comma y. So I can write down this as covariance of x comma y. And this, if I take minus sign common, let's take minus sign common, and covariance of y comma y is variance of y. Variance of y. So these two get cancelled, these two terms get cancelled, right? And variance of x is always they have given a standard deviation of x equals to standard deviation of y. And what is variance? Square root of standard deviation. Sorry, what is variance? Square of standard deviation. So standard deviation are equal, then variance also are equal. So these two values are equal. So if I'll subtract, I'll get 0. So we get covariance of x comma b here. Let me know, guys, if anyone has a question or confusion in this. Just let me know, guys, if there is any doubt. I think this question is simple, right? That's why I have shared it with you to do by yourself. Similarly, next question. This question is also simple. They're asking for the correlation of between x and a minus x. So what would you do? You would find out correlation. What is a correlation formula? What is so you would find out covariance of x comma a minus x upon square root of variance x into variance of a minus x, right? That is your correlation. Everybody knows that. Now covariance of x comma a minus x would be covariance of x comma a minus x. That would be covariance of x comma and plus covariance of x comma minus x. Covariance of x with a constant, that would always be 0, and this would become, I'll take minus sign common, and covariance of x comma x is variance of x. So we get this as variance of x. So minus variance of x. Now variance of x into variance of a minus x in denominator. So if I'll solve for variance of a minus x, that would be variance of a minus x. What it would be? I can write down variance. So if you guys remember the variance property, variance of a constant is zero. That has variance of A is zero, and like whatever we have, like I can write down this as variance of A, and whatever the coefficient I have here is minus one square. So the coefficient get squared and variance of x. So on solving, this is zero plus variance of x. So we get this as variance of x. Now let's put all the values. So on putting values, we get this as minus variance of x upon square root of variance of x into variance of x. Right? Now on solving this product, it will become variance x get cancelled, we get right. So this is by correlation. So these questions are simple. You should know that how to work with correlation and covariance formula. Just remember all the properties of expectation variance, like what is variance of A plus B. Right? Basically, variance of X plus B is A square variance of X. That I have used here, right? And similarly, if I talk about expectation of Ax plus B, that is basically A into expectation of X plus. Right? Just remember these two formulas and covariance formula, you would be able to solve the question. Let me know, guys, if there is any confusion in this. Just let me know. Or if everything is clear, just give me a quick thumbs up in the chat section so that I'll know you guys getting what we have discussed here. Okay. Vakanta is saying that basically, guys, I'm like teaching too fast because we have only 1 hour and I just want to cover most of the questions. That's why. Just tell me which question is not clear. I have just used basic formulas, and these two questions I have given you for homework. So that's why I'm just solving it fast. Okay, this question. Okay, let's discuss this question again, guys. So basically, I'm just using, I'm finding out covariance of x comma a minus x. So I can break it down covariance of x comma a and plus covariance of x comma minus x. Right? Covariance of x comma a is 0 because covariance of a variable with a constant is always 0. Right? And covariance, I can take this minus sign common because of covariance property, and covariance of x comma x is variance of x. So we get covariance of x comma a minus x as minus of variance x, right? Now, next thing is, I have solved this. Now, variance of x, I cannot solve it more. So I'll solve variance of a minus x. So variance of a minus x is using this property. Variance of ax plus b is equal to a square variance of x. So I have used that. So it becomes variance of x. Now, if I'll put the value, I get the answer minus. Like that's the only thing I have done here. Yeah. Now let me know if there is any more confusion. Okay, great. Let's solve next question. So this is a question from GateDA 2024. They have given a joint distribution function fxy, that is 2xy, x0 to 2 and y0 to x. And now they are expecting, they just want us to find out expectation y given x equals to 1.5. So when you have to find out expectation y given x, that means you have to, because this is continuous function. So that means you have to multiply y and y given x dy and the limits of y. Y limits go from 0 to, like we'll discuss the limits first. So this is a formula for expectation y given x, right? Basically, what is expectation of y? Y into fyy. Here, y given x expectation value will be y into function I'll take as conditional because they are asking for a conditional expectation. This point is clear. But first thing I want to know here is what is fy given x? Fy given x. And how do I find out fy given x? So we have this formula fxy upon fx gives us fy given x, right? So I have fxy, that is 2xy, but I do not know what is fxx. So I have to find out fx. So guys, if you would see the limits here, there is one thing to notice here is that x limit goes from 0 to 2 and y goes from 0 to x. So you can see that y goes from 0 to x, right? So if you would write down these limits are basically 0 is less than y less than x less than 2, right? So they are related with each other because y limits are not constant. Y limits goes from 0 to x. Is this point clear? That y limits goes from 0 to x and create the equation, right? And it is a little bit complicated. Now, if I need to find out fx, so what you guys do, you would take the limit x 0 to 2. But no, you would not take the limits of x as 0 to 2 because you need to find out fxx. So you would take 2xy and you would integrate with respect to y, right? Now to take a y limit, what are the y limits? Y limit goes from 0 to x, right? So I'll take 0 to x. So on solving, we get 2x y square by 2 and the limit goes from 0 to x. 2 and 2 get cancelled, we get x cube. Now I can put this function 2xy upon x cube. I'll get 2y by x square as my fy given x. But I need to find out expectation of y given x equals to 1.5, right? So I'll write down fy given x equals to 1.5 dy, right? So I'll do the same thing here. I'll find out fy given x equals to 1.5. So I'll put the value 2y upon 1.5 square. So it would become 2y upon 2.25. So this is your fy given x. Now I'll take this function. Let's take this function y into 2y upon 2.25 dy. Now I have to take limits of y. Y limits are 0 to x, right? If I'll put this limit 0 to x, it would be, it would give you a function of x. Obviously, na? Okay, my audio is not clear. Uh, Let me just check. Give me a minute. Y limit goes from 0 to x. Is this point here? That y limit goes from 0 to x and it is. Just give me a minute. Let me check my mic. Just give me a minute, guys. Till then, anybody, just let me know if there is any confusion. Guys, on Zoom section, you guys are also facing the issue of noise. Okay. Okay, voice is not clear. Can you guys tell me if my voice is clear now on Zoom section? Guys, can you please let me know now? Let me just check once again. Guys, can you please let me know now? Let me just check once again. On YouTube, guys, just let me know if everything is fine with my stream now. Just let me know, Chandan, on YouTube. Is it clear now? Okay, great. So sorry guys for this issue. Let's start let's continue whatever wherever we left. Just let me know till now anybody have any question or confusion. Just let me know. Let me know guys. Is it clear till now or should I repeat what I have done here? So basically, what I have done, I just need to find out expectation of y given x. So what I have done, I have find out conditional expectation, that is fy given x equals to zero point 0.5. Fy given x equals to zero point 0.5. I have used that here, and now I have to take a limit. But I know that expectation value is constant. So I told you that y limit goes from 0 to x, and then x is 0 to 2. So I have arranged that in this manner. So when I have to take the limits of y as constant, I'll not take this x. What would I take? I'll take the limit y from 0 to 2. Right? So I'll take the limit 0 to 2. So now I can integrate 2 by 2.25 y cube by 3, and if I'll put the limit, that would become 2 twos 4, twos 8, twos are 16 upon 0.25 into 3. Now you can convert it into decimal. Let me know if this thing is clear and if I'll check the answer. Okay, answer is not here. Okay, answer is not on the screen, but you can calculate using calculator. Let me calculate. You calculate. That is basically, I think 2.37 you would get the answer. But I hope you guys get what is a what would be the formula to solve this question, right? What would be the approach? Let me know, guys, if there is any confusion. Anyone? Momali is saying 2y upon 1.5 square is equals to 2y by 3. How would be 2y by Momali, how it would be 2y by 3? 2 into 1.5 divided by 3. Basically, we have this function 2y by x square, right? I have to replace x is equals to 1.5, not y, right? Only I can replace it. When I have replaced x, then it would be 1.5 square. That would become 1.5 square is 15, 15 is at 2.25, right? So I have used here 2.25. That's why. I hope is it clear now? Just let me know, guys, on Zoom section. Momali, is it clear that why is it not 2 by 3? Okay, great. So yeah, now you can calculate it and find it in decimals. Okay, now we have this next question. Two fair coins that pays tossed independently. X is a random variable that takes a value of 1. Both tosses are head and 0 otherwise. Y is a random variable that takes a value of 1. And if at least one of those tosses is heads and 0 otherwise. Then they are asking value of the covariance of X and Y. So they are asking covariance value. So basically, guys, if you remember what is the covariance value? Covariance of x comma y is equals to expectation of x into y minus expectation of x into expectation of y. Right? So this is a formula. Now I have to use it to solve this question. So what would be my approach to solve this question? So they are saying that x is a random variable that takes a value 1 if both crosses are heads and 0 otherwise, right? And so that means, let's suppose x is a random variable, right? And what we are doing, we are tossing 2 coins independently. So simultaneously, if I'll toss 2 coin, tail, 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 head, head, tail, and head, head. So these are the conditions. Now they are saying that x is a random variable that takes a value 1 if both tosses are heads and 0 otherwise. So that means x would take value 1 in case of tail, tail only, right? Sorry, both crosses are heads. Both crosses are heads, then x would take value 1, otherwise it would take value 0 when we have head, tail, head, and tail, right? So this is for x. Now they are saying that y is a random variable that takes a value 1 if at least one of the tosses is head. So that means in this case, head, 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 tail, and tail, head. In this case, it would take value 1, otherwise it would take value 0. That is tail, tail case, it would take value 0. Now they are asking for the covariance value. So guys, does anybody have any idea? This is a question they have asked in GATE DA 2020. So what would you do? Can you take x 0, 1, and this is y 0 and 1. Now let's see. So yeah, let's say this is x and here we have y. Y is like this and x is like this. So x 0, y 0. When we, in which case we have x 0 and y 0, tail, tail case, right? I'm just finding out my joint random variable, right? And where y is taking 0, y is taking 0 and x is taking 1. Y is taking 0 and x is taking 1. That is not possible, right? So we do not have any case for that. Y is taking 1, x is taking 0. Y is taking 1 and x is taking 0. If you would take the intersection, we have two cases in which head tail and tail head. X is taking 1 and y is taking 1. 1 and 1. If you would take a common part, that is head, right? So now you can find out the probabilities here. If you would find out the probabilities, 0, 1, 0, 1, right? So this would, the probabilities would give you fxy. So this is your x and this is your y. So probability would be 1 by 4, 0, 2 by 4, and then 1 by 4. Now you need to find out expectation of xy. So let's here find out expectation of xy. So it would be summation xy fxy, right? So x0 y0, y1, x1 y0, and x1 y1. So this is a, these are the values x and y can take. So if you would replace like 0 into 0 and into f of 0, 0, that is 1 by 4 plus x0 y1, x0 y1, and then probability x0 y1 probability is 2 by 4, x0 x1 y0 probability is 0, and x1 y1 probability is 1 by 4. So expectation of x comma y is 1 by 4. Expectation of xy is 1 by 4. Is it clear? Now you can find out expectation of x. What would be expectation of x? From here you can find out fxx. What is fxx? So for x equals to 1, you have probability 1 by 4, and for 0, you have probability 3 by 4, right? This is your fxx. Now if you would find out expectation of x here, it would give you 1 by 4, and expectation of y similarly, you would get it as 3 by 4. Just take it by yourself, expectation of x and expectation of y, because that would be simple. Right, right, Mamali. Nagendra is asking that in the previous question why I have integrated from 0 to 2, but I should uh, integrate from 0 to x. Okay, let's say last question. Okay, first let's discuss this question and then we'll move to the previous question. Just give me a minute. right? So expectation of y is 3 by 4. Now, we have to find out covariance of x comma y. Let's put the value here. So expectation of xy is 1 by 4, then 1 by 4 into 3 by 4. So if I solve 1 by 4 minus 3 by 16, so on solving it would give me 1 by 16. So your variance is 1 by 16, that is 0.0625. That is your expectation. That is your covariance. Right? Covariance of x and y is 1 by 16, that is 0.0625. Right, right, right. Okay, let's see. Just give me a minute. Just give me a minute. Let me see if I'll go back to that. Would not be possible, I think. Would it be possible to go back? Okay, so basically, guys, in this question, when we were finding out fx given y, what I got here, I got, sorry, fy given x. Fy given x, I got as 2y upon 1.5 square. And then I was finding out expectation of y given x, and I have written fy given x, and I have written dy, right? So I have to integrate the limits of y from 0 to x. So 0, y less than x less than 2, right? We have these limits. Now they are asking to find out expectation value, and expectation is always constant. So guys, I'll write down these functions: 2y upon 1.5 square dx. Now one thing to notice here is that if I'll put the limit y is 0 to x is not constant, right? So it would give me the function of x. So what I can do? So guys, by mistake, I have told you to put the value 2 here, but we already have given the x value, right? So I'll put the x value. In case this x value is not given, then I'll put. If this x value is not given, then I'll put 2, but x value is given, right? So that's why. Thanks again. And I'll put the limit here. If I'll put the limit 0 to 1.5, and if I'll solve this, you would get right. Thanks again. So basically, guys, we have to put the limit 0 to 1 point. Just make a correction here in this question. I hope it is clear now, and the next one as well. Okay, let's move to next question. This is a question. They are saying that again, sample paper question. They are saying that x. They have given us joint distribution of random variables. They have given us fxy, that is x into 1 plus 3y square by 4, x 0 to 2, y 0 to 1, and it is 0 given. So they are saying that x and y are mutually uncorrelated, x and y are mutually independent, mean of x is 1 and mean of y is 1, which is true. Tell me guys, just think about it. So basically for independence, what you have to check that your fxy is equals to fxx into fy, right? This is your definition of independence. So you could check this, right? You can find out, and using fxx, you can find out mean of x. What is expect? Mean is what? Expectation of x. Similarly, find out expectation of y. So you can check BCD using the x and y are mutually uncorrelated. That means you need to find out correlation here, right? And what is the formula for correlation? Expectation of xy minus expectation of x into expectation of y, right? So basically, when you would check this function fxy, let's say, if you would find out fxx, you would get this fxx as and okay, let's solve it. So it would be take it x one plus y square and on 4 dy. We'll integrate with respect to y only. So x by 4, it would become y plus 3y cubed by 3, and the limit goes from 0 to 1. So if I'll uh, put the limit here, so 3 and 3 get cancelled, so x by 2 we get as fx. Now if I'll solve for fyy would be, I'll take the limit 0 to 2, x by 4, 1 plus 3y square dx. Right? These are the limits. So 1 plus 3y square by 4 as it is, x square by 2, and the limit goes from 0 to 2. If I'll solve this, I'll get 1 plus 3y square by 2. Right? So we get fxx and fyy. Right? Now you can check that if you would multiply fxx and fyy, you would get fx, right? You would get fxy. So you can say that x and y are mutually independent. Right? Now you have to check for mean of y-axis. So what you would do? You would find out expectation of x, x into fx, and the limits of x are 0 to 2. So x into x by 2 dx 0 to 2, and it would become 1 by 2 x cube by 3 0 to 2, right? So if you would solve it, so it would give you 4 by 2. So that means this is not true. The statement is not true. If you would check mean of y is 0.5, mean of y. So you would check for expectation of y. What would be expectation of y? You would check 0 to 1 y fyy, right? Fyy is 1 plus 3y square by 2. So it would become y plus 3y cube and 1 by 2. Limit goes from 0 to, right? So if I'll solve this now, 1 by 2 y square by 2, and just integrating 3y cube by 4, and the limit goes from 0 to 1. 1 by 2 plus 1 by 4 gives me 3 by 4. Sorry, 1 by 2 plus 3 by 4. It is 1 by 2 plus 3 by 4. If I have written correctly, yeah. 1 by 2 plus 3 by 4. I'll take a LCM 4. 2 2s are 4. So it would give me 5 by 4. So we get the value 5 by 8. 5 by 8, right? So this is also not true. Mean of y. Just check all the calculation, guys, once by yourself, right? Just check it once. And if I go for correlation, right? What is the formula for correlation? Correlation formula is covariance of x comma y upon variance of x into variance of y in square root. And covariance formula is expectation of xy minus expectation of x into expectation of y. And the denominator remains same, right? But if I'll see x and y, if x and y are independent, then I can say that at expectation of xy is equals to expectation of x into expectation of y. This is true, right? Can now just tell me, guys, x and y are mutually uncorrelated or not? Just tell me, guys, x and y are mutually uncorrelated or not? So because it would give you zero, right? Your correlation is zero. Correlation is zero. That means they are mutually uncorrelated. There is no relation between them, right? So yeah, A comma B are the correct options, but C and D are incorrect. Just take the calculations for C and D once, guys, and you can let me know if there is any confusion. Anyone, guys? Tell me, guys, if there is any confusion. Anyone? Okay, so if not, let's move to next question. This is another question. Just try it by yourself. This is simple question based on mean and variance. Guys, just try it by yourself. Just take a screenshot. Just take a screenshot for this question and let me know in chat section later, in comment section later, that you guys get this question or not. Simple question, right? Now, this is another question. We are saying that the probability of getting a head in a single toss of a biased coin is 0.3. The coin is repeatedly till a is tossed repeatedly till a head is obtained. If the tosses are independent, then the probability of getting head for the first time in 5 tosses. So we have to find out this probability. So this is basic geometric distribution. So we want that we get head for the first time in fifth toss. So that means in previous four tosses we get tail. So can I say that 1 by 2 to the power 4? That means because in previous four tosses I get the tail, and in the last toss I get that head. So I have taken the probability of that. And if you would solve this, you would get the answer. Simple question, right? It is simple question. You can easily solve it. Let me know if there is any question in this simple question. Now, if you would see next question, this is little bit different, and this same kind of question either I think they have given in the gate sample paper or in your main paper. I think there is something. Just understand this question carefully. Now they are saying that let the random variable x represent the number of times a fair coin needs to be tossed till two consecutive head appear for the first time. Then they are asking expectation of x. Does anyone has any idea what would be the expectation? Anyone? So guys, let's see. In this type of question, basically we know that till we get first head, till we get first tail, or till we get first six, these type of questions comes under geometric distribution. And we say that the probability of success, right? The probability of success is, if the probability of success is p, then expectation would become 1 by p, right? That is a formula for geometric distribution that we all know. But here something is different. What is different? That they have asking me that we have two consecutive head, right? And how do we get two consecutive head? There might be a possibility that in first case we get head, right? Right. At the start we get head. Another possibility is that we get tail, and then I can get head. Right. In the third possibility, that we get one head and then tail. Then I have to start from the scratch. Right. So I have three cases here. So how do I find out the expectation? You cannot solve this question by geometric distribution. You cannot say that getting two heads in a row is probability is 1 by 2 into success probability of this event is 1 by 4. So 4 is a expectation, because some of the students might be thinking that expectation would be 4. But no, expectation here is not 4. But then how do you find out this expectation? So you have to solve this using, let's consider, let's expectation of x is x. And what is the expectation? That two consecutive head appear for the first time, right? Now you can see that you can also find out the expectation that first case is that we get two head at the first time, right? Then what would be the expectation? That means I got two heads. What is the formula for expectation? X into fx, right? That means number of times I like in two times I get head. I have to throw two times the coin. I have to toss two times the coin and I get the head. Expectation formula is two times I have thrown, right? X equals to 2, and the probability for head is 1 by 2 into 1 by 2 plus. This is one thing. Now, there might be this case. If this is not the case, then second one is the case. So let's suppose in the first throw I get a tail. Let first throw I get a tail. If I get a tail on the first throw, there might be a possibility that I have to start from the start. If this is tail, then that means this event is this toss is not of use of us. So what is the expectation of getting two heads in the first two heads first time? That would be again for this particular set, and for if I'll take this tail, then it would be x plus. So that means x plus 1 event at times it would take us, expected value is x plus 1, and because I have already taken this tail, so probability is 1 by 2. Do you get this, that how I have written this x plus 1 into 1 by 2? Because when I got this tail, I have to start from the scratch. And I already know that starting from the scratch expectation is x, right? So I have considered this, that in this first event I was not getting hit, so x plus 1 into 1 by 2. Now The next case is that head tail. Again, once I get this head tail, these two these two throws would be waste. I have to start from the scratch again. And if I'm starting from the scratch, expectation is x. That means x plus two throws I made. Then I got two x. And what is the probability? Because I have used these two throws 1 by 2 into 1 by 2. Right? So this is a probability. Let's solve it. So it would become 1 by 2, x by 2 plus 1 by 2. And let's keep it as x, and x by 4 plus 1 by 2. 2 into 1 by 4, that is 1 by 2. So it would become 3 by 2, and left hand side would become x minus 2 x by 4. So it would become x by 4 equals to 3 by 2. 2 twos are 4. On solving, you would get x equals to 6. Right? So this is a answer. I hope you guys get it. Now I have one question for you, that find out the expectation. Find the expectation of getting 2 6 6 consecutively. 2 6 consecutively for the first time. When you throw a coin, when you when you throw a dice, right? And the answer would be 42, right? So just try to solve this question by yourself later. Right? This similar kind of question you have to solve. The probabilities would be changed. Anyone has a question, guys? Let me know, guys, if there is any question in this. Is it clear? Just let me know if there is any confusion or any doubt in this. If not, let's move to next question. So this is the next question. So this question says that passenger try repeatedly to get seat reservation in any train running between two stations until they are successful. If there is 40% chance of getting a reservation in any attempt by a passenger, then the average number of attempts that passenger need to make to get a seat reserved. This simple question based on geometric distribution, right? Based on geometric distribution, because they are asking expectation, and because we are getting, we are just, we want one seat to get reserved. The probability of getting a seat reserved is 40 by 100. That is 0.4, right? And the expectation in this case is, because this is geometric distribution, so 1 upon zero point 0.4. So on solving, give me answer 2.5. It's a simple question. Yeah, I hope this thing is clear. Let's move to next question. Okay, this question, let's solve it. It says that passenger for a given biased coin, the probability that outcome of a toss is head is zero point 0.4. So we have given a biased coin, and getting a head is probability is zero point 0.4. The coin is tossed 1,000 times. X denote the random variable whose value is the number of times that head appeared in these 1,000 tosses. Then they are asking for the standard deviation. Basically, what we are doing here, we are tossing the coin 1,000 times. Right? So that means this is binomial distribution, because we have n 1,000, and probability of a success they have given to us zero point 0.4, and they are asking standard deviation. So if you guys remember, standard deviation formula in this case is NPQ. or you can say that NP into 1 minus P. So using that, you can just solve it. Right? This is the direct formula based they have asked in GATE computer science. So all you have to remember all of the named distribution formulas as well. And what are those named distributions? Binomial, geometric, Bernoulli, and then we have Poisson, exponential, standard normal, normal distribution. So all these distributions, just remember their mean, variance, all those things, and their probability distribution as well. Right? Now let me know, guys, if there is any question till now. Just let me know. If not, let's move to next question. So this question says that a fair coin is tossed independently 4 times. The probability of the event, number of times head swap is more than the number of times tail swap. Just tell me, guys, quickly the answer for this question. Tell me this. So basically, because we are tossing the coin 4 times, we want that number of times head show up is more than number of times tail show up. Right? That means uh, we have heads and then tails. So 3 times head show up, tail show up 1 time, or 4 times head show up, then it is. This is a possibility, right? This is the only possibility. Now, in this case, what are the cases I have? Tail, 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 tail. Oh, sorry, would be number of times head show up is more than number of times tail show up. So it would be head, 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 head. Right? Now, in this case, what would can it be? Head, 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 tail, and then head, head, tail, head. Because tail can change its position. Head, tail, head, head, and then tail, head, head, head. Right? These are the only possibilities I have. These are the only possibilities. So if you would find out the probability, what it would be, each of them has the probability 1 by 2 into 1 by 2 into 1 by 2 into 1 by 2. And each we have in total 5 cases, 5 by 16. Right? 5 by 16 is the probability. This is a simple question. Now, let's move to next question. Okay, so this question we have also taken from Gates. Yes, it says that P is the number per minute passing through a junction between 5 p.m. and 6 p.m. And this P has a Poisson distribution with mean 3. What is the probability of observing fewer cars than 3 during any given minute in this interval? So guys, if we have given mean, that means we have given lambda equals to 3 in this Poisson distribution, and they're asking probability x is less than 3, right? And Poisson distribution is a discrete distribution, right? And its value starts from 0. So I have to do that x0, x1, x, right? I have to solve this. And what is the distribution for Poisson distribution? So if I'll solve for probability x equals to x, it is basically e to the power minus lambda, lambda to the power x upon x. So you can use this probability distribution to find out these probabilities. This simple question, right? Just solve it and you would get your answer, right? So these are the some simple questions you should know. So that's why I told you that you should remember the probability distribution, expectation variance, so that you would be able to solve the question. So this is a gateway question. They have asked in gateway exam. Mean and variance of a Poisson random variable are equal. This is true because each has lambda. Mean and variance both are lambda for Poisson distribution, right? For a standard normal variable, mean is 0 and variance is 1. Right? That is also true, right? For normal distribution, it is mu and sigma. What we do in standard normal distribution, we take z is equals to x minus mu over sigma, which makes all the values mean as 1, mean as 0, and variance as 1, right? So both the statements are correct here, right? So both first and second statements are true, right? Now let's see next thing. So guys, we have given, this is also a gate DA question, and they have asked for the average. We have given average of 50 data points is 40. Updated sample average after including a new data point value of 142 is, so they are asking what would be the updated mean if they include one more value, that is 142. So you have to find out the updated. So how do you find out? So you would take x1 plus x2 plus x50 data upon, right? This is a mean formula is equal to 40. Now you have to find out mean value for 51 data points. That is 142 included as well. So that means first let's find out x1 plus x2 plus x50 from here. So it would become 2000, right? But now I have to find out mean value for 51 data points. 51st data point is 142. So can I do that x1 plus x2 plus x50 plus 142? That would be 2142 and divided by 51. If I'll divide it by 51, what would happen? What would happen? Now it would give me mean for 51 data points. And if you would cancel out, it would gives you the value 42. Right? So 42 would be the new mean. Right? So these type of questions you can expect to come in exam. If there is any confusion or any question, you guys can just let me know. So we can uh, like just let me know if there is any confusion. We can discuss that. Right? Anyone on? Okay, so I think that's all for this session. I have tried to cover all different type of questions so that you could get an idea what type of questions you can expect from the exam. You just try all the questions by yourself, and if you have to solve the questions, then you can go on GFG Gate DA test series that will be free for all of the students. Just write down on Google GFG Gate DA test series. You could reach to a post page and just go through the test series from there that we made for every student so that you can practice more and more questions. And we are also having some more sessions the contest sessions as well, in which we are discussing whole question paper for your subjects, and then later on we are going to work on full mock as well so that you will be able to help. So guys, be with us. If you haven't subscribed our channel, so subscribe it so that you get all the notification. So that's all for this session. We are going to continue in the next session, right? Whatever the session we'll have, right? We'll have our next session, which will be I think on Sunday, machine learning session. Okay, so yeah, that's all from my side, guys. Thank you for joining.